What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. Let's go into the topic of our today's video. We are specifically going to be talking about protection from magic and also going into a little bit of an understanding of exactly what the evil eye is. How do you protect yourself when it comes to psychic warfare? How do you protect yourself from the evil eye itself? If these are things that you're interested in and you want to know a little bit more about, you have one thing to do, and that is simply to stay tuned. Let me first start with introducing myself for those of you who don't know who I am. My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck. And I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. Now, with that being said, moving right into the topic of our today's video. How do you protect yourself from magic? How do you protect yourself from someone who is using psychic warfare on you? Someone who's using black magic on you or your family or your loved ones? This is clearly a subject that people want to know about. People are even willing to spend large amounts of money to make sure they are protected energetically speaking. There are people that are frantic about this subject, if I'm going to be quite honest. Why? Because we're pulling on fears. And when it comes to someone's deep-rooted fear of being attacked by someone who's very aware of psychic energies and knows how to manipulate them to their benefit and could potentially affect you in a harmful way, once again, people are willing to spend a lot of money to get themselves through those types of situations and to ultimately feel better about those circumstances. Now, let me first start by giving you a little bit of a perspective to a deeper degree on who I am as I'm relaying this information throughout this video. I am a real practicing black magician, which means I am someone who understands how to use and how to manipulate energies in a dark fashion to affect somebody in a destructive way. Long story short, I know how to use psychic warfare, and the way that I use it, it takes effects almost every single time. But being an observer, as someone who's sent out tons of this energy in my life experience, I've also observed how certain people don't get as affected as other people. Now, I'm also going to speak from a place of personal experience where I've been on the receiving end of psychic warfare in my life many times over, which means, yes, there are magicians and there are witches who have actively cursed me and have actively used black magic on me in ill-intentioned types of ways. So I've received it and I've sent it. I have a lot of experience in this field. I have a lot of observation on what I've been able to perceive. This is the place that I'm coming from as I share this information that I'm sharing to you who is the listener. All right? So with that being said, this is one of the most important things to understand when it comes to protecting yourself on a magical basis or on an energetic basis. You, in this moment, have the power to make sure you are always in a position for success. You in this moment right now have every single tool that you need outside of having to seek something outside of yourself, which includes other practitioners or other people. You have all the tools that you could possibly need to make sure you are going to be successful and make sure that you are protected when it comes to spiritual matters. See, this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people like to jump to, oh, I need to hire another magician to do some ritual for me to make sure I'm protected because I know this other person that I've been dealing with is a witch or some sort of black magician, and they've been using dark energy on me, or they've been using black magic on me. See, so many people, especially in the spiritual community right now, 2023, there are so many people that are lost, so many people that don't know their true self and are seeking outside of themselves for all of the answers to all of their problems. And clearly, this is a part of evolution, right? Is it the most effective path to take? No, but will you learn from having walked that path and eventually realize where it gets you? Potentially, and hopefully. So with that being said, we want to take this idea that if you're being psychically attacked or spiritually attacked, the urge that you might have to want to jump and run to somebody like me or another practitioner who says they can heal you or says they can stop your attack. We want to stop that urge and we want to stop that impulse because you are your own healer and you are your own protector. So this is one of the most misunderstood things when it comes to real psychic warfare and being able to deal with those destructive energies. If the energies are being sent your way, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not present. I'm not going to say that someone isn't attacking you, psychically speaking. I'm sure somebody probably is. I mean, let's be honest. We live in a world today that is designed in a matrix where people are constantly being infiltrated and influenced, energetically speaking. People are constantly being attacked just by existing within the matrix of the United States itself. Okay, but once again, with that being said, you still have all the tools you need to get through the circumstance. And all of those tools are embedded within your own mind right now. It's not even a specific mantra. It's not even a specific spirit. It's your own awareness of who and what you are and the realization that you're connected to everything. And that as you feel things, as you feel through energies, what you're doing is you're actually processing them and then transmuting them, which is a form of alchemy, changing it into your power and potential. So contrary to what a lot of other maybe spiritual people are going to tell you, oh, I'm the one that has this special mantra for you. Oh, I'm the one that knows this specific entity or this specific spirit that can set you free from your problem. I'm the one that knows the specific spell to perform or the specific ritual to do for you to make sure you're not going to get harmed. See, this is just a way to steal somebody's money. This is just a way to take somebody's fear and recognize them in the moment that they're in and say, you know what? I'm going to capitalize on their fear. I know that this person has the tools to set themselves free. And I know this person can protect themselves as long as they have the right understanding of what's actually taking place. But even though I'm aware of this, I would rather have them pay me to get them out of their situation. Or I would rather have them pay me to make them think that I'm getting them out of their situation. See, there's a lot of people that are like that. There's a lot of people who are preying on the weak-minded and the people who are completely controlled by their own fears. And that is what it is. And once again, I'm a black magician. I could care less. If you're going to be that type of person, then that's the type of person you are. And if you insist on being that type of person that gets drained for all your money and gets drained for all your energy thinking that somebody else is going to do it for you, thinking that somebody's going to save you, then that's the life that you're going to live, and it is what it is. I'm not even going to waste an ounce of my time and energy trying to convince you otherwise. But what I am going to do is I'm going to speak the message that will serve you on an evolutionary level. And with this message, as I honestly speak it, I know I'm going to attract the right individuals who are going to take the information, process it, and use it to their advantage. So I'm also very aware of that as well. And that is my true intention, to give this information out so that you can better serve yourself with it. So now that we have this understanding of the types of people that exist within the spiritual community and what most people are doing right now, there are so many people making tons of money off of people's fear, specifically when it comes to psychic warfare and being attacked, magically speaking. The reality is you have the tools within your own tool belt. And all you need is a foundational awareness of the universe itself and what is actually happening. So for example, let's say that you had an interaction with somebody that was into black magic. And let's say maybe you were in a relationship with them and then the relationship splits. And now you feel like there are certain types of energies that are influencing you. And you have a suspicion that maybe the person that you were with is doing magic on you because they were a practicing occultist. And because your relationship didn't work out the way you thought it would, now you think they're attacking you. So with that alone, I'm not going to sit here and say that doesn't happen and that's not the case, because I know for a fact that does happen. And this is actually a very common cause of psychic warfare. People getting into a relationship that are both spiritual. One of the partners doesn't like the relationship anymore. They end up splitting. And then the other partner is upset, so they try using psychic warfare on the other person. This happens often. Now, if you're in this exact predicament that I'm discussing, just as an example, you have a choice, right? You can recognize first and foremost what you're feeling, what types of energies are being drawn towards you, and then you can make that decision on, are you actually getting psychically attacked? That's the first step. Are you actually getting psychically attacked, or are you producing a false reality where you're still dealing with the emotions of a breakup? So maybe just that negative emotion alone is enough to make you think you're getting psychically attacked. This is just food for thought. So don't just jump to conclusions and say, oh, this person is absolutely trying to psychically harm me. Because, everyone goes through a form of energetic attack after any sort of breakup. That's what it means to go through a breakup. It's a break, okay? A break to the spirit to a degree that has to be healed and has to be processed and understood and then turned into a lesson. So if you've checked off the box and you've recognized that, yes, you are being psychically attacked, now you're on step number 2. And step number 2 is to say, you know what? Since I'm being attacked, I have an option now. I can be afraid, I can be a victim, and I can immediately, out of a state of fear, try seeking help where someone can stop this attack or reverse the energies. That's one option. Or the other option is I can continue focusing on my growth. I can continue focusing on my evolution and all the different energies of negativity that are being sent my way, that are being literally channeled down and then sent my way. I can take those energies. I can once again face them face to face. I can feel them. I can process them. And then I can turn it into evolutionary power. There are 2 options. 1 is the option of being a victim. 2 is using your mind as a tool and turning something that was negative into something that can be positive and eventually lead to power. That is what alchemy is. that is what transmutation is. And if you are someone who considers yourself spiritual and considers yourself an occult practitioner, that is the option that you are always going to want to choose. You should never choose the path of being a victim and then being drained of even more energy because you don't know how to handle your circumstance. Ultimately, because you don't understand you. You don't know who you are and what you're capable of. And imagine this. We have a person who's afraid because they're being psychically attacked. So now they're seeking somebody else to do something magically to mend their situation. Well, guess what? Let's say you do that, you pay for the service, the person does what they do, and it gets rid of the attack. It gets rid of that negative energy, right? Wonderful. The energy's gone now. It worked, right? Not necessarily. Because of the principle of as within, as without, it is only a matter of time until the same type of circumstance re-manifests itself. And then you find yourself in the exact same position that you were in the first place, where now you're having to spend even more money to another practitioner or the same practitioner to keep mending your situations. This is why when we're looking at the archetype of the person who pays other people to always take care of them psychically when they're getting psychically attacked, these types of people will continuously pay the same person to keep removing generational curses or keep removing dark energy that's being sent to them by other people. It's because, once again, through the principle of what is inside of yourself becomes manifest externally into your environment, these people haven't done the inner work. So they're living in a reality where there's always going to be someone that is going to send them some sort of a psychic attack or dark energy. Because that's the reality that they're creating for themselves. And they're stuck in they're stuck in a certain type of loophole, which we could literally call a negative loophole, where oftentimes they never become conscious of why the same situations keep manifesting. And it's because they're not going inwards and transmuting the dark energy that's sent their way, which ultimately leads to an understanding of why it happened in the first place, which is the lesson of the experience. And then that gets transmuted into power and potential. But rather, they're jumping straight to their impulsive fear and saying, now I need to find a professional to handle this situation psychically so I don't die. Okay, so at the end of the day, it comes down to another primal fear, which is the fear of death. I mean, if you're so afraid to die and you don't understand that the universe works in a natural order and that you're going to die when you're supposed to die and there's nothing you can do about that, if you don't understand that bigger picture and you don't understand that source perspective, then of course you're going to be afraid. You're going to pay someone to make sure you survive as if you're depending on them for your life, which is an embarrassment. And that's a place of weakness that you do not want to be in. That's a state of ignorance of the true self. So that's the first thing that we want to understand. It is not a specific mantra. It is not a specific entity, and it is not a specific practitioner that is the source for your protection. Now, an entity, a mantra, or a practitioner can give information, can give wisdom, and manifest experience that you physically and energetically have to go through in order to understand that you are the source of your protection. So this is where you gain the value from these other sources, but it's not them inherently doing it for you. It's them giving you opportunity to do it for yourself and to understand through initiation. All right? So now as you have this information, you can take a big look at the world around you and even yourself and say, am I that type of person? Or how many people do I know that are stuck in that spiritual trap? And that in itself, thinking always you have to seek something outside of yourself to protect yourself on the inside, that in itself is a form of psychic warfare. That's a very subtle form of psychic warfare that the average person would never know about. Okay? So, we have that understood. You have the tools. You have the power to go through the dark energy that is sent your way. If you're meant to die and you're meant to pass into the next realm of experience, then that must be what is meant to happen. Is that going to happen when you are under psychic warfare? No. I am a living testament to that fact. I've been psychically attacked by many quote-unquote powerful magicians, by many people that have disagreed with things that I've done or things that I've said. Now, do I think that these people are powerful? In my perspective, not nearly as powerful as what I am. But a lot of them do have knowledge. A lot of them do have followings. A lot of them do have some sort of a name to themselves. So yes, they know how to move psychic energies, and I've been targeted and I've been damaged by these types of people. Now, at the end of the day, do I panic? Do I run away? Do I look for somebody else to help me out of my situation? Do I look for backup? Absolutely not. The way that I look at it is in the way that I invited it into my own life. I'm the one who opened the doorway and said, bring it on. I'm the one who said, this is the challenge that I want, so I need a vessel that's going to target me and send this energy my way. That's the way that I look at it. Look, if you want to look at it from its higher perspective, you can even see it as your own higher self triggering through other people negative energy on yourself, on your physical body, in order to cause you to grow from the experience. Whenever you're dealing with psychic warfare, negative energy, destructive energies, there is always going to be growth that comes from it. Just like the Tower archetype, just like the Hangman archetype, just like the Devil archetype. They're all dealing with that same pillar on the tree, the negative feminine pillar, but guess what? Once you finish those archetypal experiences, you shift over to the other pillar, the positive. And that's how it will always be. That's how the universe functions. That's a natural law. So once again, as I've been attacked many times in my life, psychically, and on other levels too, I've always, not always, I eventually started to realize that these things are happening for a higher purpose. And the way that I perceive it now is that my own higher self is actually triggering, once again, these circumstances through other people, through other practitioners to focus their energies on me as if it is a form of self-initiation or self-testing. Now, this is obviously a perspective that can be hard to adopt, and I completely understand that, so don't feel like you need to adopt that same perspective. But the most important thing to understand is that no matter what situation you're in where there is those challenging energies, it's the challenge that is causing you to learn the lesson and causing you to move to the next level. So try your best to appreciate it and then embrace it for what it is. Don't run from it. Don't be in fear. Don't be the victim, because the more you play the victim, the more you're going to be the prey amongst the predators. The more you embrace the challenge, the more you're going to learn from it, the more you're going to develop and grow and eventually turn yourself into a predator yourself, something that no one else messes with. So that is what I have to say in regards to magic protection. Yes, entities can be very valuable to help you understand how to develop protection within yourself. If that's the place you're coming from when you're trying to develop protection, then that's a good place to be coming from. Realizing it's not the entity doing it for you, it's the entity working through you, showing you what you need to know about yourself to do it for you. Yes, mantras can be powerful for protection as well because they train the unconscious, subconscious mind to put yourself in a state almost like it's a form of hypnosis, which it is, to be protected. So by doing mantras of I am protected or I am always in a state of protection, by doing mantras that are in that nature, you very well, next thing, may be coming across a video like this where I'm talking about protection. And your mantra led you to this video because you tuned your energy body into avenues of understanding and knowledge that can lead to protection. That can also lead to experiences that lead to protection. Okay? If you're going to book a one-on-one call with me and talk to me about what you're going through and why you're going through it, I can help explain to my best ability or break down why I think and feel like you're going through what it is that you are and how you can better navigate it. What I'm not going to do is say, hey, yeah, you know, I have this special book over here and I have a special incantation with a special entity that knows how to solve your problems. See, that's what the average weak-minded person wants to hear. But for the person who wants to know how to truly protect themselves and get to an immortal state of consciousness, the spirit's immortal, the soul's immortal, but the consciousness, if it remains unaware of the true immortality, then the consciousness may not be immortal. Meaning the consciousness can easily click into states of fear, easily click into states of anxiety, states of, okay, let me just latch on to what I'm comfortable with because I don't understand this. So we want to develop the skills to make your consciousness recognize you are immortal. So you have a conscious awareness of your soul and of your spirit and the reality that your energy will always exist. It will never go away. Even when the ego's gone, even when the body's gone, your energy field is still there. And that is what's transitioning into the next life experiences over and over and over again. Okay, so we want to develop that consciousness that you are the all. So at that point, you don't have to fear death anymore. You don't have to fear when you think or you know someone is psychically attacking you. You know you can handle the circumstance. And that's one of the benefits that the individuals get who are part of the Universe.B Vampire Service, which is the top tier of my Patreon. And basically what that is that's a service where I change the entire energetic body to be more receptive, to be more so negatively polarized, which changes the torsion field spin rather than being clockwise to a counterclockwise spin, which is constantly sucking in energy. And what this does is this programs the individual to realize that they can suck in any types of harmful, fearful, anxiety-driven types of energies to ultimately transmute into power and potential. So once again, the Universe.B Vampire Service trains the energy body to approach life in that way where you realize you're basically like a black hole existing in the universe, sucking in all the garbage, sucking in all the stuff that serves you as well, and just getting more powerful from everything you're absorbing. Okay? Once again, that's the top tier on the Patreon. So with that being said, we talked about protection. Now we are going to be talking about the evil eye. And the evil eye is honestly very simple to understand. It's not super crazy. It's not super mystical. It definitely has spiritual sciences that are behind it that are important to understand. And that's what I'm going to explain here in this video. So what is the evil eye? You know, a lot of people may think the evil eye is something super like creepy or super evil, or I mean, it's called the evil eye, right? I could understand that. Maybe the image that comes to your mind when you hear evil eye is the Lord of the Rings and that big tower of Sauron with the big eye on it, the watching eye. You know, that is a depiction of what the evil eye is. That would be the eye of the negative polarity, which essentially is the eye of negative intentions. But truly what the evil eye is a part of all of us. all of us as the human being species have a evil eye. So what exactly is the evil eye? The evil eye is you using your eyes, I should say, that then transmute electromagnetic waves or frequencies. And there is real science that backs all this information up that I'm talking about. I have a specific book that really talks about it in a good amount of depth. I'm trying to remember the name of the book off the top of my head, and I don't think it's going to come to me. So let's see. Yeah, it's not going to come to me right now, but if I remember, I will bring it up. But once again, what you can know is that all of this is backed by science, where the eye has an ability to project on an energy level, project certain electromagnetic frequencies from itself. And with that, it can affect certain types of people based on the intent that you have when you're sending that energy. So just to give you a little bit of an example of what I'm talking about, have you ever in your life, looked at somebody and let's say they weren't looking at you, they were just facing maybe away from you, and then you're somewhere else. And next thing you know, you're just looking at somebody. Maybe they're wearing something that looks interesting. Maybe you just think they're an interesting person and you're looking at them, but they're not looking at you. But then the second you're like looking at them and you're locking into them, they end up turning around as if they were able to recognize you were looking at them. So I want you to really ask yourself or think back in your life, when have you been in those experiences where you've experimented or you've seen firsthand, based on what I'm sharing now, where the eyes can energetically affect somebody who traditionally wouldn't even be looking at you, yet from a distance, even just focusing on another person can cause them to be aware that they're being watched and then turn around as if they knew you were looking at them the whole time. Or even think to yourself, when have you been in that position where somebody was looking at you, yet you didn't have any logical proof of it, and you just felt like someone was watching you or felt like somebody was eyeing you up, and then you turn around and sure enough, there's somebody right there, okay? Which I can imagine probably happens to women more than it does men. And men probably resonate more with looking at somebody and having them look back at you, just because of the nature of male and female. But that is a testament to the science behind the power of the eyes to cause an energetic effect on what the eyes are observing. This is also, the main symbol of the Illuminati, or I should better say, the main symbol of the elites, negative polarity, who are governing the planetary sphere on a physical and on a psychic level. This is the symbol, the eye. Now, specifically, most of the times you'll see them covering their right eye and showing the left, because the left is the left-hand path. And when you're covering the right, you're covering the basically the part of yourself that is based in positivity or based in mercy. But this is the eye of severity and the eye of chaos and destruction. So that's why this eye is showing and it's projecting its frequency. All right? And you could do your own research. Take a look at it. Most of the times when you see them do this eye, it's going to be coming from the left eye. And it's, once again, all connected to the power of what the eyes can actually project. And what really goes behind that is the intention. So if you have a negative intention towards someone and you're focusing on them with your eyes, and you're that alone, focusing on somebody, watching them or observing them with a negative intention, in that act, if you're doing that, you are using the evil eye. That's what the evil eye truly is. See, this is the thing. If people in our today's time were trained or taught that the eyes can literally project a certain type of frequency that affects the person you're observing, then people would have a much stronger position to choose between, are you going to be positively polarized or are you going to be negatively polarized? Which means people would have a better opportunity to say, all right, I'm going to check myself. Because if I'm aware that my eyes can project this energy and I'm someone who's wanting to be positively polarized, then I'm going to make sure my intentions are good when I'm observing other types of people. Now, if you're someone who's on the negative polarity, you can kind of use the inverse of that understanding and you can say, all right, since I'm on the negative polarity and I gain power from primal chaos and destruction, I'm going to actively use my observation, actively with negative intentions, and I'm going to know that that's going to have an effect on the person that I'm observing. So, but look, we live in a world today where this teaching is not mainstream by any means. So there are people that are living their daily lives constantly projecting the evil eye. I mean, think about it at work. Somebody pisses you off, something happens, somebody doesn't take your shift when they said they would and you took theirs. People are constantly using their evil eye. They're constantly using their observation to project negative intentions, but a lot of the times, and most of the times, the reason why people actually do that is because they don't know that what they're doing is actually having an energetic effect on the other person. So because of that, they can moralistically justify their negative intention. So once again, imagine that. We live in a world today where most people truly on its natural level are more towards the positive, but they haven't been trained to realize that they can actually negatively impact and harm somebody, energetically speaking, by projecting those types of thoughts with observation. Okay? So you have this person who's more positively oriented, wants to be a good person, but doesn't have the knowledge to understand that when someone pisses them off and they hold that dark intention and they look at the person, they visualize the person, getting messed up or something bad happening to the person, now they're projecting a negatively polarized emanation. So this person who wants to be positive in nature is actively using the negative polarity and polarizing the opposite direction from what they actually think is best for them. All due to a lack of awareness of these subtle psychic sciences. And that is literally, once again, what the evil eye is. And you can imagine, I know you as the listener, you can self-reflect and ask yourself, how many times have you personally used the evil eye? How many times have you done it? And are you conscious of what polarity you're striving for? Because if you're on the positive polarity, that's a very unbeneficial thing to do. If you're on the negative polarity, you can take a lot of advantage of that practice and gain a lot of power from it. I've used it personally. I see how it works. Okay? So that's what the evil eye is. Now that you've watched this video, you have a crystal clear understanding of the subject. All right? This is where I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, come down here and hit the thumbs up button. Because why would you not hit the thumbs up if this content offered you value? Doesn't make sense. Now also come down here and hit the notification bell because I post videos as often as I can. And with content like this, you absolutely do not want to be missing out. Trust me. All right? So go ahead and hit that bell and get notified. Now, if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then come down here and hit the subscribe button because by subscribing, you're further linking into the content, which literally means you're going to get more value from what it is that I'm teaching here. Okay, there really is an energetic component to you subscribing to the channel. You're further linking in. And if not, forget about it. It is what it is. All right, so now I want to take your awareness to a private Facebook community. Okay, if you go into my YouTube description, click the little drop down and scroll down a bit, you're eventually going to come to a place where there's a link that tells you to click it and then follow it for the private Facebook community. If you want to join a literally exclusive, wonderful group of people that are all like-minded in nature, where people are posting on a daily basis multiple times, where you could probably formulate a lot of meaningful relationships, connections, and friendships, then I would highly recommend looking into the private Facebook community, as well as for educational purposes, and just sharing your own experience and getting other people's input. All right, that's what I'm gonna say. If that's something you're interested in, you know where to go to follow that path. Now I'm going to take your awareness to literally the most important link within the entirety of the YouTube description itself. This is the first link at the top. You cannot miss it. This is where you can join my Patreon. On my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive occult content. None of this content is on my public YouTube channel, and that is for many intentional reasons. It is not meant for the mass collective. This video right here, this video right here with the last portion talking about the evil eye was a little bit pushing it for being public content. I was almost considering if I should upload this video exclusively to the Patreon, but I already have other ideas in mind that will get uploaded to the Patreon and will also go into much more depth than what was discussed in this video. You have access to content that is like this, access to content in the form of live streams with tons of valuable information embedded within them, and then practical content, real practices that I perform on camera that are fundamental in nature, where I teach you how to perform them yourself. Then as you move into tier 3 and up, you're gaining access to an entire magic training course, which I feel like would be extremely valuable, especially if you're a beginner occultist and you're looking for a structured format to follow to start developing your psychic capabilities. Then as you move into tier 4, this is the top tier of the Patreon, but this is not only just the top tier, this is literally the most popular tier of the Patreon as well. This is what's known as the Universe-B Vampire Service. So what this is this is a service that I perform on the 29th of every single month that has one. And the service is designed to completely change the energetic structure of the participants, whether that's the new participants or the pre-existing ones, which means if you stay a top tier member, you get this service performed on you every single month. And once again, it changes the energy structure to be more so Universe-B dominant, which essentially means more so negatively polarized, more so service to self oriented. So what this does for these individuals is it gives them an ability to be more so receptive to the unconscious and the subconscious mind, which is feminine in nature. It gives them an ability to exist within the dark energy areas and locations of the multiverse itself without inherently getting harmed by them, but rather developing knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and potential power from them instead. And it gives them a psychic capability to pull in energy from dark energy and chaos in the environment around them to transmute, transform into their own evolutionary potential. The things that I was talking about in this video. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, you can definitely do so. I'm going to say it once. Top tier, tier number 4, first link in the YouTube description. We're going to leave it there. With that being said, I want to give a special shout out to everyone specifically who is a Patreon member for taking your knowledge, your practices, and your studies to that other side. Big shout out to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're moving into the second link below. This is the second link in the YouTube description. You can't miss it. This is where you can book a very unique tarot card reading from me. This is a tarot card reading that I promise you've never received before. And the reason why is because I understand the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average person. So what I can do is I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on that tree. I can tell you what you're feeling, experiencing, and going through in the present moment, and then what to expect moving into your near and your long-term future, all based on your positioning on that Kabbalistic tree. I've done well over 850 readings at this point in time. I do a reading every single day. I've been doing this for over a year now. I receive tons of valuable feedback. If this is something you want to take advantage of, then book your reading. Second link below. Now, also within that same second link below, there's an option to book a one-on-one call with me. This is a fairly new option, which a lot of people have been taking advantage of. As time goes on, the prices are going to be rising, but as of right now, I have them fairly low, honestly speaking, for one-on-one calls with myself, mainly because I want to talk with as many people as I can, and I want to get as much experience as I can with what types of questions are being brought up, you know, just learning about the certain types of people that are studying for my content. You know, as I'm teaching, I'm also learning as well. So that's one of the main reasons why the price is so low, so that people can really get their calls in and I can learn from the experience. But that will change as time goes on, and I'm just mentioning that here. So if this is something you want to take advantage of, definitely do so. Second link below is how you book a one-on-one call. Now, if you're someone who's really taking your practice to that deeper degree, I have mentorship options. I have a 6-week mentorship option as well as a 3-month mentorship option. If these are things that you're interested in, definitely go to that second link below, scroll through the different services, and you can read more about them, looking into the details in regards to what they entail. All right, I'm gonna wrap that up there. Now, we're gonna take your awareness to the third link in the YouTube description. This is the third link, you can't miss it. This is where you can become a YouTube member. Now, as you become a YouTube member, you're gaining access to many different types of benefits. But most importantly, you're getting access to the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. So what this is this is a sequence of emojis that I've designed myself that are based on real occult principles. And you can use them in a specific configuration, link in the name of a target, hit enter, and it will actually cause psychic effects to the target of your choice. This is the most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare through the internet platform. There are almost 2,000 posts where individuals have already taken advantage of the service. There are people right now who are using it and or are considering using it. If this is something you want to take advantage of yourself, you can definitely do so. Third link below, you click it, you join and become a YouTube member, and then you'll have access. With that being said, this is where I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate all of you very, very much. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.